Hey Dudez, love, I have a new video for you, and this video is going to be a little recap of my sophomore year of college. I did one of these for freshman year, and I'm going to do one every single year of college just to look back and see like what my experience was. I took some notes on my little phone here. I wrote them out, and they just are like topics that I want to touch on, make sure that I go over. This video should not be too long, even though I do have a lot to say. But if you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below and join the fam. We're super close to reaching 1K, but that's it. Let's go ahead and get right into this video. So the name of my college has been private ever since I have started going to college, and I've been there for 2 years now, and people have not questioned me about keeping my privacy. So I'm super thankful for that. But this was my second year, and going into my second year I was like, okay, I learned from freshman year, I know what I'm doing now. Also, I have fans on, so I'm sorry if you can hear them, but it's just super hot in my room and I cannot turn it off because I'm also wearing a giant sweatshirt. So yeah. But I was going into my sophomore year and I was like, I know what I'm doing. I had a freshman year that was super great, even though like some classes were hard and some professors were nasty, but I can handle this now. I know what I'm doing, right? So your girl thought she had this all figured out. And honestly, for the first semester, obviously science classes can be a rocky start, and that's very, very common for a lot of bio majors, behavioral neuroscience, health science, all those types of majors. That is a common thing. So I wasn't like nervous because I know there's like a point in the semester where everything kicks into full gear mode and it clicks and you understand the information and you just keep thriving. So that happened for me in my bio class in the fall, and I was like, I was doing well, I was acing exams. That was like the first A I ever got in a bio class on an exam, and I was super excited that I was finally understanding. I figured out my note-taking style for lecture classes, and I was really enjoying it. Because a lot of the things that happen with my science classes is that teachers have PowerPoints that are literally just pictures. So you need to be able to articulate everything that is important on that slide, even though it's just one diagram or one picture, but it's important because that is what will show up on the exam. And I didn't know how to do that in the spring semester of my freshman year, and I learned how to do that in the fall. So I was super grateful for that. So overall, I was like, this semester is going fine. I was doing pretty much good in all my classes. I was getting A's and B's here and there, but I was excelling, and I was having fun with friends. I was traveling. I was really happy. A lot of renovations were done on my campus, so there was like new places for us to go and study, for us to go and eat, and a lot of different events were happening that we love to go to. Also, I lived in a different dorm style, so this year, since I was upperclassman, I was able to live in a pod with 3 other roommates and making myself 4. So the pods were still double style, but we had our own bathroom and our own living room, and I loved having my own space locked off from the public, so I can study in my living room or I can study in my bedroom, and then I can easily access the bathroom without even having to leave, and I loved that so much. My school has its own personal problems, so there was a problem with the plumbing and the water like a couple of times where our whole entire wing would just have cold water to shower, and we'd have to go to a different wing to shower. But that was only like a few times that happened. And then there was a little like rockiness with my roommates in the beginning, but after a while we were all fine. We knew how to relax. The only issue that occurred in the dorms that was a recurring issue, and when I mean recurring, I mean every night or every week, every other day, was noise complaints. And girl, noise complaints aren't fun, but there was a bunch of noise complaints from our neighbors. And like apparently the way they built the building, because my building was the newest renovation that I lived in last year, and apparently the walls are just super thin. Even though they're cinder block, they're like super thin and hollowed out, where you can literally hear my entire conversation from the room next over. And my suitemates never complained about the noise, but my neighbors always did. So that was like the major like downfall with the dorms and the experience. But I loved my roommate. We're super close now. Me and all my friends have met my roommate, and like we really clicked. We hit it off and we're all cool. And then one course just took a turn. I just don't want to say too much about the course, because when I think about what happened, it really pisses me off and I get really heated. But this professor just had racial tendencies where he would pick on the black students in the class and like call them out, like answer this question, or what do you know about this, or like constantly just picking on kids of black color. And he didn't see it as a racial thing. Me and my friend who he picked on did. Other kids in the class noticed and said that this professor is really nasty. So there was just a big conflict there, and that conflict did not stop until we returned in the spring semester, where there was a big situation where it just wasn't a pretty ending to that class. So moving into the spring semester, it did start off rough because of what happened in his class and how he was treating us, and we did not appreciate it. So I was just trying to move on. Like that was my main thing. Like I don't want this situation to hold me back moving into my next semester. And it didn't hold me back. I definitely moved on. But then chemistry and biology just proved to not want to be my friend, okay? Like it was a struggle, it was hard, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Like I just was like in class where like you have that genuine like confused face, not knowing what the heck is happening. That was me all the time. And I took genetics and general chemistry too. And honestly, I did the same thing in the fall. I took cell biology and Gen Chem 1, and it wasn't hard, and I was doing fine in both of those classes. And then I came into this semester and I was like, oh, it's gonna be the same thing. I've had these teachers before and I heard about them. They're good, whatever. And it just was not the same experience, like let me tell you. So it just continuously got worse because the grades were just like on a steady decline. Like nothing was changing, nothing was going up. It was just like, first it was really stagnant, like this is how I'm doing in the class, and then it just, you know, declined. But I was like constantly failing quizzes and exams, and I was just like, I don't know how to get out of this rut. So I was fine with everything else I was doing. Like I still was in my programs, I was still in good academic standing, I would still be able to participate in all of like the things on my campus, I was still having fun with my friends. I would go out more often in the spring semester just to kind of like take my mind off of things. Like, you know, I was going out on the weekends with my friends, we would get our nails done once in a while, we would go out to buffets, and it was really fun. But it was just like these two classes just became so dreadful. And then Zoom University occurred due to COVID-19 and online classes. And I thought, wow, like the internet is at my fingertips and this is gonna be easy, you know, like if I ever need to, I have the internet as a resource. You have that extra support of like, okay, like if my professor isn't explaining it now, I can really reach out to the internet. I can find something on Khan Academy, I can find something on Quizlet, I can find something on YouTube to explain the knowledge, which obviously you still kind of have that access to while you're on campus, but it's different when your entire class is on the internet, because it's like a tab away, like you just click and you're there. So, but then I was still not being successful until like the last few assignments in those two classes, where I was finally like, God, I need you to take control, I need to pass. And I ended up passing both of my finals, which boosted my grade tremendously in both of those classes, which I was so grateful for, because it was just not a pretty picture for a majority of the semester. So I eventually ended off with this semester, the spring semester, in a good note. And I was happy that like the trauma from like the entire year of like just that situation in that one class in the fall and not doing well in the second semester, like just this semester was just like a little bit of a tragedy, honestly, but I was just grateful that it was over. I'm grateful that I passed and I can move on. So I did learn a lot of lessons of like how to cope with online classes and how to cope with professors who literally just don't see it your way. Or like I would get points off on quizzes and stuff because I didn't use the same math somebody did, and I'm like, math is math. If I'm getting the same answer as you, I'm still correct. But they're like, no, you have to use it this specific way and you have to do this specific thing every single time. So when that finally just like all clicked in, I was doing way better and I was just super grateful for that. So yeah, that is really how my spring and fall semester went for my sophomore year. Overall, I would say it was a good year. It was a great learning experience. There was like a few hits, you know, like there's always going to be ups and downs like always, but overall I did enjoy being a sophomore. I enjoyed like the new positions that I was able to step into on campus other than being in classes, and I would just say like take things as they come, because some things like really were not expected. Like COVID-19 was not expected. A lot of things were just like, wow, like how come and why me? But I took those hits as they came and I was able to pull through, which I'm super grateful for. But that is everything that I have to share with you guys for today. Hopefully you guys learned something from my experience or pick something up from what happened to me, and hopefully somehow this video benefits you. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment down below any other requests or video ideas. I'm happy to do them for you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I love you guys all so very much. Peace, dudes.